Dealerships are desperate. Japanese motorcycles that were once hot sellers are now gathering dust, and prices are dropping faster than ever. Why are these bikes so hard to move? What went wrong with models that once dominated the market? Stay tuned. Number 1 will leave you speechless. Number 7. Kawasaki Vulcan S. Every dealership has bikes they just can't seem to move no matter how hard they try. One of those struggling models is the Kawasaki Vulcan S. It was Kawasaki's attempt to capture the middleweight cruiser market by blending modern performance with classic cruiser aesthetics. On paper, it looked like a promising concept. In reality, it turned out to be a much harder sell than expected. Kawasaki thought they could bridge the gap between sport bike enthusiasts and cruiser lovers, but the result fell short of expectations. The Vulcan S features a 649 cubic centimeter liquid-cooled parallel twin engine delivering 55 horsepower and 47 pound-feet of torque. This setup provides adequate power for urban commuting and light touring without being overly aggressive or intimidating for new riders. Weighing 492 pounds, the Vulcan S features a telescopic front fork and a rear monoshock, offering a balanced and moderately comfortable ride. Braking is managed by a single front disc and a rear disc brake, providing sufficient stopping power for city and highway use. This combination of lightweight design and moderate power makes the Vulcan S nimble in traffic, but less impressive when compared to more robust cruisers. Priced at $7,399, the Vulcan S aimed to be an affordable alternative in the cruiser segment. However, it found itself competing with used Harley-Davidson Sportsters and Indian Scouts, bikes that deliver more classic cruiser appeal, stronger torque, and the signature V-twin rumble that cruiser fans crave. Despite its competitive pricing, the Vulcan S struggled to stand out in a crowded market. The real problem with the Vulcan S is not just the specs, it's the overall experience. Cruiser enthusiasts are known for their loyalty to the classic V-twin sound and laid-back riding position. The Vulcan S, however, lacks that character. Designed to be versatile, it ends up feeling like a jack-of-all-trades, mastering none. Instead of leaning into its cruiser identity, it tries to balance sport and cruiser elements, leaving both types of riders somewhat unsatisfied. Styling also misses the mark. Kawasaki aimed to give the Vulcan S a modern cruiser look, but it comes off more like a sport bike trying to disguise itself as a cruiser. The streamlined frame, compact fenders, and aggressive stance might appeal to riders coming from sport bikes, but traditional cruiser fans see it as lacking the wide handlebars and chunky tire presence they expect. This blend of styles creates a motorcycle that doesn't quite fit into any established category. Performance-wise, the parallel twin engine is efficient and reliable, but it lacks the thumping power and visceral feel that cruiser enthusiasts expect. When compared to models like the Harley-Davidson 48 or the Indian Scout Bobber, the Vulcan S feels tame. Even though it handles well around town, it doesn't provide the bold, commanding presence that makes cruisers so appealing to many riders. Another notable issue is the bike's weight distribution. At 492 pounds, it is not overly heavy, but the way it carries its mass makes it feel top-heavy at low speeds. This can make maneuvering through tight spaces or executing slow turns feel awkward, which is a significant drawback for a bike that is supposed to be beginner-friendly. And if you think the Vulcan S is a tough sell, just wait until you see the next bike on our list. Coming up is a once legendary sport bike that somehow ended up abandoned in dealership showrooms, unable to find a new home. Stay tuned to discover what went wrong. We put in the work to find the bikes dealers just can't move, even with big discounts. Now you know which models to steer clear of. If you found this helpful, hit like and subscribe. Your support means a lot. Number 6. Suzuki Hayabusa. It once held an unrivaled status as the king of speed, dominating the motorcycle world with its jaw-dropping power and unmistakable presence. The Suzuki Hayabusa was not just a sport bike, it was an icon, the ultimate machine that made other bikes look slow in comparison. Riders admired its record-breaking top speeds, aggressive styling, and sheer dominance on the road. For years, the Hayabusa was synonymous with unchallenged performance. However, the motorcycle landscape has shifted, and the once revered Hayabusa now struggles to find its place in a changing market. The latest model of the Hayabusa comes with a manufacturer's suggested retail price of $18,500. It is powered by a 1,340 cubic centimeter four-cylinder engine, delivering an impressive 187 horsepower and 110 pound-feet of torque. These figures make it one of the most powerful sport bikes on the market, living up to its legacy as a speed machine. Weighing 580 pounds, the Hayabusa features fully adjustable inverted front forks and a rear monoshock, engineered to provide high-speed stability and precise handling. Braking is handled by dual front disc brakes and a single rear disc, ensuring strong stopping power to match its rapid acceleration. This combination of features makes the Hayabusa both powerful and controlled, designed for those who crave the thrill of speed while maintaining command over the bike. Back in the early 2000s, speed was everything, and the Hayabusa delivered on that promise like no other. Owning the fastest bike in town was not just about performance, it was a statement. Riders wore the title of Hayabusa owner as a badge of honor, proud to pilot a machine that left everything else in the dust. It was the bike of choice for those who wanted to dominate highways and feel the rush of unmatched acceleration. However, as the years passed, the focus of the motorcycle community began to change. Urban commuting grew in popularity, and fuel efficiency became a priority for many riders. Instead of chasing top speeds, bikers started looking for practical machines that balance power with everyday usability. Models like the Kawasaki Ninja 1000 and Yamaha Tracer 900 offered a more sensible blend of performance, comfort, and efficiency, drawing attention away from the Hayabusa's raw power. Safety regulations also played a significant role in diminishing the Hayabusa's appeal. As speed limits tightened and law enforcement increased their focus on high-speed violations, the bike's immense power started to feel more like a liability than an asset. Insurance premiums for the Hayabusa skyrocketed, deterring younger riders who were eager for performance but needed affordability. As a result, what was once considered the ultimate sport bike began to seem impractical for everyday use. The problem is not just with the bike itself, but also with the changing mindset of riders. Enthusiasts still respect the Hayabusa's legacy, but they also question when they can truly make use of all that power. Modern traffic regulations, increased urban congestion, and stricter speed enforcement mean that the Hayabusa's raw speed potential often goes unused. As a result, the bike feels outdated, designed for a time when open roads and unregulated speeds were more accessible. Now, speed is great, but the next bike tried to blend too many things at once and ended up pleasing no one. Number 5. Honda DN01. This is one of those motorcycles that left riders puzzled. Marketed as a hybrid of sport bike performance, cruiser comfort, and scooter practicality, it promised a versatile riding experience. On paper, it seemed like an innovative concept, combining the best elements of 3 different motorcycle styles. In reality, it ended up as a bike that pleased almost no one. Instead of mastering any one category, it tried to blend 3 distinct styles and failed to commit to any of them. With a manufacturer's suggested retail price of $15,000, the DN01 aimed to position itself as a premium hybrid motorcycle. It features a continuously variable transmission paired with a 680 cubic centimeter liquid-cooled, fuel-injected V-twin engine. This setup delivers 43 horsepower and 44 pound-feet of torque, offering a smooth yet somewhat muted riding experience. Weighing 595 pounds, the DN01 features a telescopic front fork and a rear single shock, engineered to deliver balanced comfort on various terrains. Braking is handled by dual front disc brakes and a single rear disc, providing reliable stopping power for both urban commutes and longer rides. This combination of features might have worked better on a more conventionally styled motorcycle, but on the DN01 it created a sense of imbalance. One of the bike's most controversial features was its automatic transmission. While the continuously variable transmission was intended to make riding more accessible for those who dislike manual clutch control, it also made the riding experience feel disconnected from the road. Many riders reported feeling like the bike was making decisions for them, which is the opposite of what motorcycle enthusiasts typically value. For cruiser fans who love the tactile engagement of shifting gears, this automatic setup felt lifeless and uninspiring. The DN01's attempt to bridge the gap between motorcycle styles ultimately backfired. Its automatic transmission, while innovative, alienated riders who craved the visceral connection of manual gear changes. Instead of enhancing the riding experience, it left many feeling detached, as though the machine was doing all the work. This sense of disconnection became one of the biggest complaints from those who test rode or purchased the bike. Another major issue was the bike's weight. At 595 pounds, it was considerably heavier than most middleweight motorcycles. The way it carried its mass made it feel sluggish and cumbersome, especially at low speeds. Riders expecting agile handling found themselves struggling through city traffic or parking lots. The bike's awkward weight distribution made it feel top-heavy and challenging to maneuver, which contradicted its promise of practical, everyday usability. Price also played a significant role in its downfall. At $15,000, the DN01 found itself competing with well-established models like the Harley-Davidson Sportster, which offered a clear identity, proven performance, and a loyal following. Riders at this price point wanted either long-distance comfort or spirited performance, not an experimental hybrid that didn't excel at either. The DN01's ambiguous identity made it hard to justify the investment, especially when more focused motorcycles were available for the same or even lower prices. In the motorcycle community, identity matters. Riders want their machine to represent a specific ethos, whether it's speed, comfort, or rugged versatility. The DN01's attempt to blend sport bike dynamics, cruiser comfort, and scooter practicality left it feeling like a mishmash rather than a purposeful creation. As a result, enthusiasts still talk about it as an oddity, a bold but ultimately misguided experiment in hybrid motorcycle design. If you thought the DN01's identity crisis was troubling, wait until you see the next bike. A high-tech luxury tourer that seemed perfectly suited for modern touring but couldn't capture the imagination of its target audience. Number 4. Honda NC750X. It was designed to be the ultimate versatile commuter bike, blending practicality with just enough power for weekend rides. The concept was straightforward. Create a motorcycle that could handle urban commutes during the week while also being capable of light touring on the weekends. Honda aimed to make the NC750X the perfect all-rounder, reliable, economical, and comfortable. On paper, it looked like a great idea. In practice, however, the bike struggled to find its place among motorcyclists. Priced at $8,299, the NC750X targeted riders looking for versatility without breaking the bank. The bike features a 745 cubic centimeter liquid-cooled parallel twin engine, producing 58 horsepower and 50 pound-feet of torque. This power output is sufficient for daily commuting and light touring, offering a smooth and manageable riding experience without feeling overly aggressive. Weighing 472 pounds, the NC750X is equipped with telescopic front forks and a rear monoshock, providing a balanced and moderately comfortable ride. Braking duties are handled by a single front disc and a rear disc, offering reliable stopping power whether navigating city streets or cruising on the highway. This combination of lightweight construction, balanced suspension, and consistent braking makes it an easy choice for everyday use. Despite its practical design and reasonable price, the NC750X struggled to gain traction among motorcyclists. The problem wasn't necessarily the bike's capabilities, it was its lack of a clear identity. Riders seeking a sportier commuter often gravitated towards models like the Honda CB500X, which offered a more spirited and dynamic feel. On the other hand, those who wanted a rugged touring machine preferred the Honda Africa Twin or the Kawasaki Versys, both of which provided superior off-road performance. As a result, the NC750X found itself in an awkward position, appealing to neither sport bike enthusiasts nor adventure riders. The core issue with the NC750X is that it didn't fully satisfy any specific type of rider. While it excelled in fuel efficiency and offered convenient storage, it lacked the spirited performance of dedicated sport tourers and the rugged appeal of adventure bikes. Its styling also lacked the aggressive flair that younger riders often seek, giving it a more utilitarian appearance rather than an exciting one. While the design made sense from a practical standpoint, it failed to create the emotional connection that many motorcyclists desire when selecting a new bike. Comfort also posed an issue. The upright ergonomics worked well for city commuting and short rides, but the seat padding and wind protection fell short for longer journeys. Riders often reported fatigue during multi-hour rides, preferring the more cushioned setups found on dedicated touring bikes. The bike's windscreen, while adequate for urban environments, didn't provide enough coverage at highway speeds, leading to wind buffeting and increased noise, which detracted from the overall riding experience. The NC750X's pricing also became a problem over time. At launch, the price tag of $8,299 seemed reasonable for a versatile commuter. However, as more advanced and affordable bikes hit the market, the NC750X's value proposition began to fade. Competing models offered more power, better off-road capabilities, or greater long-distance comfort, often at comparable or even lower prices on the used market. This left potential buyers questioning whether the NC750X was worth the investment. Next, we'll look at a motorcycle that aimed to capture the spirit of urban simplicity but fell short of making a lasting impact. Number 3. Honda Rebel 300. It was designed to be the ideal beginner's cruiser, a lightweight, approachable motorcycle specifically tailored to help new riders build confidence on the road. Honda wanted the Rebel 300 to be the go-to choice for those seeking an easy introduction to the cruiser lifestyle. Its compact frame, low seat height, and manageable power made it seem like the perfect entry-level machine. On paper, it looked like a well-rounded solution for new motorcyclists. Priced at $4,600, the Rebel 300 positioned itself as a budget-friendly entry into cruising. The bike is powered by a 326 cubic centimeter liquid-cooled single-cylinder engine, delivering 27 horsepower and 19 pound-feet of torque. These numbers provide just enough power to handle city streets with ease while keeping the ride approachable for beginners. Weighing approximately 364 pounds, the Rebel 300 is undeniably lightweight and manageable. It features a low seat height of 27.2 inches, making it easy for new riders to plant their feet securely on the ground. The suspension setup includes a telescopic front fork and dual rear shocks, providing a balanced ride quality suited for urban environments. Braking is managed by a single front disc and a rear disc, ensuring reliable stopping power. This combination of lightweight build, low stance, and consistent braking performance makes it a practical choice for those just starting out. On paper, the Rebel 300 has all the traits of a successful entry-level cruiser. It is affordable, reliable, and easy to maintain, qualities that appeal to those seeking a straightforward riding experience. The minimalist styling, featuring exposed components and a raw classic aesthetic, appeals to riders who appreciate simplicity without unnecessary embellishments. Additionally, Honda's reputation for reliability means that buyers can expect the Rebel to cover thousands of miles with minimal issues, offering peace of mind to novice riders. However, despite these strengths, the Rebel 300 has not become the sales hit that Honda envisioned. While it is undoubtedly competent, it struggles to stand out in the crowded beginner cruiser market. Many potential buyers find themselves comparing it unfavorably to other entry-level cruisers like the Kawasaki Vulcan S or Yamaha Bolt. These models deliver more power, greater customization options, and better long-distance comfort, making the Rebel seem somewhat underwhelming by comparison. The challenge for the Rebel 300 lies in its lack of versatility. While it is well suited for city commuting and short rides, it struggles on highways where its modest engine output feels underpowered. As new riders become more adventurous, they are increasingly drawn to lightweight adventure bikes, sporty roadsters, and retro-style standards that offer a bit more excitement and dynamic performance. As a result, the Rebel 300's simple cruiser design seems somewhat uninspired to a younger generation looking for a bit more thrill and variety. If you thought this simple approach to the cruiser market missed the mark, just wait until you see the next motorcycle on our list. Up next is a model that was once hailed as the pinnacle of high performance, but eventually found itself outdated and left behind as the industry evolved. Number 2. Yamaha R6. Once revered as the ultimate track weapon, the Yamaha R6 held legendary status among sport bike enthusiasts. It was known for its aggressive styling, razor-sharp handling, and blistering speed. The R6 became synonymous with high-revving performance and precision on the circuit, earning a reputation as one of the most exhilarating machines on the market. Riders who wanted nothing less than a race-ready experience flocked to the R6, celebrating its raw power and agile design. The R6 is powered by a 599 cubic centimeter inline-4 engine, delivering 123 horsepower at 14,000 revolutions per minute. This high-revving powerhouse produces approximately 43.4 pound-feet of torque at 11,500 revolutions per minute, making it ideal for the racetrack. Weighing approximately 420 pounds, the R6 features a race-focused suspension setup, including fully adjustable inverted front forks and a monoshock rear, engineered for sharp handling and precise cornering. The braking system consists of dual front discs with radial calipers and a single rear disc, providing powerful and responsive stopping power. This combination of lightweight build, agile handling, and robust braking makes it a formidable competitor on the track. Originally priced around $12,000, the R6 offered enthusiasts an opportunity to own a machine designed for racing without sacrificing too much in terms of affordability. Its aerodynamic fairings, sleek profile, and race-bred ergonomics made it clear that this bike was built for one purpose: dominating the track. On circuits, it excelled, with riders praising its ability to maintain high speeds through corners and its quick, responsive throttle. However, the same features that made it brilliant on the track became problematic in everyday use. The aggressive, forward-leaning seating position, essential for maintaining aerodynamic efficiency during high-speed runs, placed considerable strain on the wrists and lower back. What felt perfect during a full-throttle lap became uncomfortable and tiring during daily commutes. Riders found that short city trips could quickly become a physical challenge, especially in stop-and-go traffic. The stiff suspension, while perfect for handling the smooth surfaces of a racetrack, proved harsh and unforgiving on urban roads. Every pothole, bump, or uneven patch sent vibrations through the frame, leaving riders fatigued after just a short city ride. The R6's laser-focused design philosophy prioritized speed over comfort, making it less practical for those who needed a versatile bike for both track days and daily rides. Another challenge was the braking system. Designed for high-speed deceleration, the dual front discs with radial calipers offered intense stopping power. On the track, this was a vital asset, allowing riders to brake late and maintain control. However, in everyday situations, like navigating city streets or executing tight turns, the brakes felt overly sensitive. Inexperienced riders, in particular, found the abrupt stopping power difficult to manage at low speeds, making the R6 feel unpredictable in less controlled environments. Cost of ownership further complicated the R6's appeal. Insurance premiums were notoriously high due to its reputation as a performance machine, especially for younger riders who faced steep rates. Maintenance costs also proved daunting. The high-performance tires wore out quickly, requiring frequent replacements, while the engine demanded regular valve adjustments to maintain peak performance. The advanced braking system needed consistent servicing to stay effective, adding to the ongoing expenses. But now we will talk about a motorcycle that aimed to dominate the beginner segment, but ended up being too outdated and impractical for today's riders. Number 1. Kawasaki Ninja 250. This bike earned its reputation as a lightweight, nimble, and affordable entry-level sport bike. Bearing the iconic Ninja name, it was celebrated as both a dependable commuter and a spirited weekend machine. Originally priced around $4,000, the Ninja 250 was marketed as an affordable entry-level sport bike, appealing to new riders looking for a budget-friendly option. It struck a balance between performance and accessibility, making it a go-to for those stepping into the world of motorcycling without wanting to break the bank. The Ninja 250 features a 248 cubic centimeter parallel twin engine delivering 29 horsepower and 18 pound-feet of torque. This modest power output is enough to handle urban commutes while providing a bit of excitement for weekend rides. Weighing around 379 pounds wet, the bike maintains a light and manageable feel, perfect for novice riders seeking a nimble and predictable commuter. The suspension setup consists of a basic telescopic front fork and a single rear shock, providing adequate comfort for everyday use. Braking duties are managed by a single front disc and a rear drum brake, which, while functional, lack the precision of more modern systems. This combination of manageable weight, basic suspension, and simple braking makes the Ninja 250 an approachable bike for beginners. Despite its past popularity, the Ninja 250 struggles to compete with modern entry-level bikes. One of its most significant drawbacks is the carbureted fuel system. While once considered standard, carburetors now feel outdated compared to fuel injection. They require regular maintenance, including cleaning and manual adjustments, particularly during colder weather when choke settings become finicky. Riders accustomed to modern fuel injection systems find this upkeep inconvenient, leading many to choose bikes with low-maintenance technology. The engine itself, while adequate for city use, shows its limitations on the highway. The Ninja 250's power output is sufficient for urban environments, allowing for smooth acceleration and manageable cruising speeds. However, when taken on highways, the engine's modest horsepower struggles to maintain speed, especially during uphill climbs or when overtaking vehicles. In contrast, newer models like the Kawasaki Ninja 400 and Yamaha R6 offer significantly more horsepower and torque, making highway riding far more comfortable and less stressful. Another area where the Ninja 250 shows its age is the suspension. While the basic telescopic front fork and single rear shock work reasonably well for commuting, they feel unrefined when the bike is pushed hard. Aggressive cornering on uneven roads can cause the bike to wobble or feel unsettled, reducing rider confidence. In comparison, modern entry-level sport bikes often feature inverted forks or adjustable suspension systems that provide a smoother and more composed ride, especially when navigating twisty roads or rough terrain. Braking performance is also a noticeable limitation. The bike is equipped with a single front disc and a rear drum brake. While adequate for basic stopping needs, this setup lacks the responsiveness of modern braking systems, which often include dual disc setups and anti-lock braking systems as standard or optional features. In emergency situations, the lack of precision and stopping power can be a concern, particularly for new riders who might need quick, controlled braking. And that's it for today's video. We'd love to hear from you. Let us know in the comments which part surprised you the most. If you enjoyed this deep dive into motorcycle history and want more content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up.